back, but I believe we need a better midfielder to cover up for Vitinha. I don't think we can win. I don't think we can win the UCL with Vitinha, man.
What would you prioritize, a centre back or CDM?
I was at
Uh,
CDM.
I'll say CDM.
Well, I say centre back. Listen. I rate Vitinha more. David, what are you doing, man?
Yeah, because he's not good, man.
No, because what you say, David, is that Vitinha fooled us. In the beginning of the season, he was balling, and then he became a bum.
Yeah, because
Because a football player's trajectory can go
no,
sometimes up and down.
I believe Vitinha, he's more comfortable in a two-man midfield to a three, and we're playing a three-man midfield right now, which doesn't make sense because normally a player gets better in a three-man midfield because in a three-man you have two people helping you out, but in a two-man you have one person. So it doesn't make, because in a three-man midfield he always looks lost, man. He doesn't have to read the pitch. He doesn't have to read where he's meant to be. He gets caught out. He gets bullied. I'm like, then it causes Verratti to make mistakes where he doesn't need to make mistakes. Then Verratti looks bad. That's why Tosin can come on here and say Verratti look mid. I'm like, no, Verratti doesn't look mid. It's Vitinha making him look mid. But Vitinha is shit. he has the time. He has the potential to be crazy. But right now, he's not. He doesn't deserve to wear in the PSG jersey. He deserves to be on the bench.
Do you agree with this, Princess?
I'll say one more thing. I believe we were so used to the Genie Sanchez, Idrissa guy, and the Herrera. Once we got a competent midfielder who could do the basics well, we got fooled, man.
I don't think we're fooled. I think this is we kind of got what we signed up for. I mean, he's kind of. I know, like with his age. Well, how old is he?
Like 22.
Okay,
22.
there you go.
Yeah, but it's his second professional season.
That's what I'm saying. Like with his age, we kind of expect more, but really, like in where he is and his stage in his career,
he's
this
like
makes sense.
with more performances.
It makes a lot of sense. So I think with Vitinha, they kind of expected him to be good now, better later. This was more of an investment. It was like but what you're looking for, David, is someone who's okay, like who's at that level right now, like more experience.
No, because the younger players will get the experience from. So that's the thing. Like, let me use Real Madrid for example. The way Real Madrid, like, because every club wants to be like Real Madrid. Every club wants to reach that status for Real Madrid, and that's a fact because they're the biggest club in the world. Real Madrid, for example, whenever they get a young player, they have an experienced player who opens the ground for that player and like lets them like grow basically. Yeah. But at PSG, you just kind of like you just can't shove a young player. I mean, big ups, he was the best midfielder or best player in the Ligue 1, yeah.
Best young player he was.
Yes, but when you come to a top 5 league, when you come to a top five league, or when you come to play for PSG, the levels are different. The expectations are different. Like you have to give it 10 out of 10, or else everybody's going to start whistling or blowing at you. And that's the thing. So I think it's not his fault that we didn't have midfielders. Anything else? I mean, BT has said the template. He looks ordinary. Yeah. Yeah, thank you.
Do that now. No one expects him to dictate play. That's the thing. Verratti has to be there.
That's what I'm saying. So I've said it before that with Verratti playing that deep, I don't like it. I like when he play. I like someone playing that deeper than Verratti playing where Vitinha is playing. That's why I want this. That's why I want this. That's why I always wanted the CDM to play that position, because we're giving Vitinha the role Verratti had before, and he's not doing half of that role. That's why against Juventus we look shit, because Vitinha got bullied by fucking Faguli and I don't know the other dude's name. Is it Guti? Yeah, like come on.
But for me, it's like if we're gonna buy a midfielder that's gonna start ahead of Vitinha, I want him to be world class. I'm gonna buy it's no world class. I'm gonna buy it's a good option to have. I don't see him as a starter. I would rather start Vitinha
based off what you don't think is world class.
Because his games at the World Cup have made people think differently about him. Like, he's a good player, but he's not as good as he looked. Like, and you can say the same thing for a lot of Moroccan players, that they overplayed.
Yeah, they overplayed. Yeah, but yeah, that's what attackers do. But essentially, an attacker, like the situation could always favor an attacker, but for a midfielder is different because for a midfielder, if you're doing over the moment, like with lesser people around you, when you're with better people around you, you do way better. It's different for an attacker. Like I don't believe Buffal could ever like do whatever he did in World Cup and back in Club Love. No, I've seen Buffal for 2 seasons, 3 seasons in League One and 1 season in Premier League. I know his level. But for Amrabat, to see what he did playing with lesser players around, I mean, he made Onahi look good. You know, Onahi is okay. I don't buy the hype, but what he did with those players around him, like and how he stood up against all the position by himself. No, not he wasn't a passenger. I don't think he's world class, but I believe he starts over Vitinha and PSG, man.
The thing is, we lack really his profile.
His profile exactly in the squad, man.
When you look at our midfielders, the thing we lack the most is like good tacklers and ball-winning midfielders. Like we've been lacking that for ages.
And that's why whenever I see the compare, people compare him to Danilo. Have you seen that? That's why I don't believe people watch the World Cup because there's no way in hell that you see Danilo and Amrabat play the same exact type of football. There's no way in hell.
We're a team that keeps possession. A team that keeps possession doesn't have a destroyer usually.
But what happens when you can't keep the possession then?
Which we do find ourselves in that position in the Champions League as well.
Exactly.
No, like honestly, can you call us a possession-based team? That's the thing that confuses me.
Yeah, but that's the aim. That's the aim. It's like you're giving up if you start playing it.
That's the aim.
When you go play, for example, you saw against Real Madrid, we need like a ball.
Exactly. So that's the game.
When we then play Bayern, I think we will need a ball-winning midfielder massively.
Exactly. So like Mo, what happens when because you're putting all your eggs? I'm sorry if I'm rushing. I'm trying to help my niece out right now. When you're putting all your eggs in one basket about being a possession style like team, what happens when you can't do that? Your players are gonna lose lost on the pitch. You're not gonna have the ball. And that is why I always tell people go back and watch that Juventus game because I hate them Allegri, but what he did he played 5 midfielders. He played Meretti. He put Meretti as a cam. Meretti was the CDM. Once they kept the ball, we could not do anything. Renato, Jimmy Sanchez, Vitinha, Cardio dude. Verratti didn't look like Verratti. We can't do anything. And that's why I always come back that there always needs to be a balance, man. Amrabat is good and has been clear for when we come here.
I think we should continue with this trajectory, becoming a possession-based team. Vitinha, Verratti, Fabian. That's an amazing midfield to have when it comes to possession. And for me, buying a DM would be giving up on the ID because we're getting better at it.
No, but like Mo, like you're leaving yourself to like risk because listen, like we're in this. I was thinking about it this morning.
Even if he doesn't,
we're really in the middle. We're in the middle. We don't know what we are. In Liga, we are possession based because the other team is not going to hold possession against us. When they do get it, they don't know what to do with it for real. Like seriously, I've seen people do sideways passes because they didn't think they would get that far. Really. So like, but when we get in the Champions League,
and the other team loves to keep the ball.
And then we love to give away possession. We're not even trying to like keep the ball at that point. We give it away, especially like to like heavily possessive teams like Man City and stuff. We give them the ball.
Even in the Champions League, for example, we just once we go back, like once we lead, we're just gonna sit back and we're just gonna hit them on the counter. Like every single time it's been like that. Once we go up, we'll always just sit back and just hit them on the counter. That's always been it. We'll have strings of possession, but that's about it.
We are in reality a counterattack team that has to play possession a lot of times. That's just it. That's what it is.
That's why I always go back to the Real Madrid game when we didn't have Neymar, Mbappe, it was Di Maria, Sarabia, and Icardi, right? That night, just a guy dunked on Modric, Kroos, and Casemiro. I don't think Casemiro played. Like if you go back and watch that game, it's just a guy like when he was like in his peak of ball winning, they couldn't do anything against us. They had no solution for him because whenever he got the ball, he would muscle up Kroos. Exactly, he would muscle up Kroos. who must have. If Modric tried to help Cruz, he left space. Your transition, whatever.
Exactly.
So I'm like, there always needs to be a balance, man. And if you think once you face a team or a coach that knows what he's doing, and you can get put like, you're gonna be cooked, man.
Example, if you face Manchester City, for example, let's say if we get past Bayern, we're not gonna keep the ball much.
You're keeping the ball against Man City, man. Let's be real, man. Let's be real. You're keeping the ball against Man City.
What I can say is Paris Saint-Germain actually played a half with the ball against Manchester City. So the possibility is definitely there. The ability is there. We just need to keep going what we're doing.
Yeah, but there's so much at play in that game. Sometimes I feel like it was City that was really like taken aback at that particular point. I don't think they were really playing like themselves either. That I'm not gonna count that as a thing for us, or like to take 1 point and say, hey, we can do it. I'm just saying that like this team like really has a fluid identity. So you kind of, if you're gonna keep rolling with that, with this transition thing, then you need to have the profiles to back it.
Well, I mean that is actually true because Galtier, he always talks about being flexible, having different formations. But then Amrabat comes in as not a complete star. I think even what I want is a world-class midfielder.
All right, Amrabat's better on the ball than Vitinha. That's a fact.
The thing is, even if he doesn't start,
that's a fact, man.
David, oh my God, just roll him under the bus if you want.
Nah, I don't know where this Vitinha like praise came from. Like we saw this man, like this man made Verratti look bad, man. Go back watch the Benfica game, man. Go back watch Enzo dunk on him. Go watch the Verratti give away the pen. Vitinha is in no man's land every time. I don't like he's like Casper on the field, man. I don't know where he is. What's he doing? Like, who are you?
I mean, I think he has potential. He has potential to do well. He can work into it.
Yeah, definitely.
It's just not a right now signing. I don't think they thought of it as a right now signing. Remember when we were saying no bling bling and all that stuff?
Yeah.
This is what they wanted.
So I think I also believe he's comfortable at PSG. I don't know if that's wrong. I think he's comfortable because the other guys, like again, like how we say we have midfield depth. Like Renato's not benching you. I'm sorry, Red. He's not benching you. Soler, the great Soler is an attacker. He's not a midfielder. So like, let's scratch that out. Fabian is going to be starting with you. So there's no one else to come and take your spot. So he's going to be comfortable. And he's never good for a mid player to feel comfortable, man.
He's not mid. He's not mid.
You keep forcing it. David. Honestly, David, we don't have a better option.
Agenda. This is a stinky agenda, David.
Let me ask you a question right now. If you had 50 million right now, would you have bought this? Would you have bought Vitinha right now?
Or Enzo Fernandez
in summer? Or no. It's unfair to use Enzo because Enzo is twice the player he will never be. Who else? Like, would you have? Would you have bought Vitinha? You have 50 million right now. You knew Vitinha was going to be this. Would you have bought him?
Yeah.
That's
and it was 40. And it was 40. And it was 40.
I wouldn't have minded because either way, David, like we didn't have the midfield option, so it was still an upgrade regardless. But the thing is that you could still keep Vitinha and get someone else. That's not a problem.
Yeah. What, David? You don't think Vitinha will become better?
No. I believe Vitinha is going to be a starter in 2 years from now. He's going to be a starter. Yeah. 2 years, maybe next year. Maybe over the summer he actually listens to this podcast and takes my advice and go learn football. But I believe right now he should be in that starting 11.